Imagine that. But they were overruled by higher-ups in the Saudi royal family, and the money went straight into the Trump family's enterprise. $2 billion. But it's not just Donald Trump and his family that are cashing in at your expense. The world's richest man is using his role, too, as a special government employee to cash in as well. Because even when you're the world's richest man, as Elon Musk is, enough is never enough. Entering at number 3 are Elon Musk's shady Starlink deals. Elon Musk, when he's not tweeting or firing essential government workers, is turning his company Starlink into a global superpower. How? By using the sway of his position and his proximity to Trump to negotiate a whole raft of deals with foreign nations to purchase his Starlink satellite systems. Just look at what happened with the nation of Lesotho, located in South Africa. Donald Trump slapped crippling tariffs on the country. In the hopes of a trade deal, they came to the table, and that meant coming to Elon Musk's table. To understand this best, I want to read verbatim from a leaked internal State Department memo. Quote, as the government of Lesotho negotiates a trade deal with the United States, it hopes that licensing Starlink demonstrates goodwill and the intent to welcome U.S. business. As the government of Lesotho negotiates a trade deal with the U.S., it hopes that licensing Starlink demonstrates goodwill and intent to welcome U.S. businesses. This is from the State Department's own cable in black and white. It's just pay to play to get out from under the tariffs that Trump imposed on Lesotho. That country is going to buy Elon Musk's satellite system. Wow. Pay off Trump's machine and maybe you'll get a trade deal. And of course, it isn't just the poor country of Lesotho. In February, Elon Musk met with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Blair House, a government building just steps from the White House. Their meeting was private, but the results were very public. Shortly after the meeting, India announced 2 Starlink distribution deals. Millions into Musk's pockets negotiated steps away from the White House. Since then, since the imposition of these tariffs, since the need of other countries to come in and to negotiate tariffs away with the Trump administration, Elon Musk has reached deals with Somalia, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Vietnam. And that's just what we know about so far. But I promise you, this will not be the end of it. It's among the most obvious, egregious, and dangerous acts of corruption in American history. Want out from under a tariff? Make a deal with Elon Musk and Starlink. And they're barely trying to hide it. Which brings us to number 2 of the top 10 deals for Donald Trump as president, and the top 10 ways that the American people are ending up holding the bag. Because Qatar isn't just investing in a new Trump Tower at home. The Qatari government is also gifting the president a new Air Force One. An aircraft so opulent that they're calling it a sky palace, a palace in the sky. A $400 million gift for Donald Trump that taxpayers will have to pay to debug. You can imagine all the national security implications of getting a airplane with all of its electronics and all of the venues you could hide eavesdropping equipment. You can imagine what will be necessary to debug an aircraft like that. It will need to be retrofit and upgraded to meet the standards of an Air Force One. It will cost taxpayers a fortune. And their plan, the Qataris' plan, is to gift the plane to the Trump Presidential Library before Donald Trump's term ends. That way, the president can keep using it as he pleases. That way, Donald Trump, in addition to his own private plane, in addition to Air Force One, which he is very upset with because it's a few decades old and, you know, it just doesn't have the amenities that Donald Trump has come to expect, he gets to keep this palace in the sky. While American airports are in crisis, air traffic controller shortages, radar blackouts, massive delays, and surging prices for you, the passenger, this is what the President of the United States is focused on. Not bringing down airfare for you, not dealing with those luggage fees and all the hidden costs when you buy airplane tickets. No, that's not what the President of the United States cares about. This is what he cares about. He cares about getting a $400 million gift from the Qataris, which he calls a nice gesture. Giving a whole new meaning to the term nice gesture. I kind of associate nice gesture with maybe someone picking up the tab at Chipotle or maybe giving me a ride instead of having to take an Uber somewhere. But for Donald Trump, a nice gesture is a $400 million palace in the sky that he gets to keep or make use of when he's no longer president. Never mind that the gift violates the Constitution's prohibition on a president receiving gifts or emoluments. Never mind that it violates the Constitution. That seems to be of little concern to the president. But the fact is the Qataris are not stupid. They're going to want something for that $400 million plane. There's no such thing as a free lunch. There's no such thing as a free $400 million plane. And that's something that the Qataris are going to want, is favorable U.S. policies towards Qatar in the Middle East. If they didn't want something for that plane, maybe they would have given it to you or somebody else not named Trump. This is, in fact, why we have a clause in the Constitution that prohibits gifts like this, because we want to know that the President of the United States is acting on our behalf, on our country's behalf, on our national security behalf, our interest, not some foreign interest that gave them a $400 million gift. And if you really believe that Trump won't return the favor when the time comes, when the Qataris want something that may or may not be in our national interest, if you really believe that Trump won't return the favor when that time comes, and I've got a 747 palace in the sky that I'd like to sell you. But that's not even the most corrupt deal of the 114-day-old Trump presidency, because coming in at number one of the top 10 best deals for Donald Trump and the worst deals for you, the taxpayer, is Donald Trump's crypto scheme. You've heard about the meme coin by now. This is, I think, the logo of the meme coin. The president's most brazen cashing in. A corrupt effort that's already made him and his family billions of dollars between its soaring values and the trading fees. Now, this meme coin's gone up and down in value, but the thing is, every time it gets traded, every time it's bought or sold, this guy gets cut. He gets the fees, estimated already at the value of hundreds of millions of dollars. It's like posting his Venmo account online, inviting personal monetary tributes from foreign powers, foreign investors, or anyone else who's willing to pay up. You've heard about the private dinner that they're offering associated with this meme coin. The top 220 meme coin owners, many of whom are foreign investors, invited to a private dinner with the President of the United States. Businesses are buying and jockeying to be one of the favored few, who also get a private audience with him if they're willing to buy millions of meme coins, not to mention a personal tour of the White House. But beyond the meme coins and the dinner parties, there's something else also brewing behind the scenes. As I speak, Eric, Trump, and Don Jr. are getting into the action, jetting around the world, building their own financial empire in the crypto business space. In Dubai, the Trump family's World Liberty financial firm announced a joint venture capital firm backed by the government of Abu Dhabi that would invest $2 billion using Trump digital currency. Now, I know it's hard to keep all these billions apart. You got the $2 billion investment in Jared Kushner by the Saudis. You got $5.5 billion investment by other Gulf nations in Trump properties. You got $2 billion here, $5.5 billion there, another $2 billion here, and pretty soon you're talking about serious money for the Trump family. This deal alone will generate hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue and fees for the Trump family. So that's the art of the deal with this president. Trump gets rich, you get screwed, over and over and over again. It's obvious to anyone who looks, but it bears repeating. He does not care about you. He does not care about making your life better. He does not care that prices are soaring or that home ownership seems impossible. He doesn't care if you have to choose between rent or groceries, let alone whether you'll be able to take that family on a vacation that you've dreamed of. He doesn't care if the health care you rely on gets cut or your local Social Security office closes down. He doesn't care. If it helps pay for his billionaire tax cuts, it's all the same to him. He does not care. Trump cares about one thing and one thing only. The same thing he cared about when he wrote this book. And the same thing he's focused on every day of this presidency. Deals to make himself richer, to make his family richer, to make his billionaire friends richer. And my colleagues, he is succeeding. He is succeeding beyond his wildest imagination. He will likely make more money in the next 4 years than he did in his entire life up to that point. In fact, He probably already has. With new gold-plated skyscrapers around the world and a suite of new golf courses to match. A fancy new plane, a speedy new Tesla with the richest man in the world in the passenger seat. A crypto empire and projects around the world that will keep the gravy train going for generations. And no matter what wreckage he leaves behind here, he knows that he can head off to one of those gold-plated skyscrapers, look down on the rest of us, and chuckle at his good fortune. The art of the deal, indeed. For Donald Trump, not for you. I yield back.
The line between public service and a private global syndicate has completely dissolved. On the floor of the United States Senate, Adam Schiff laid out a clinical, terrifying map of the administration's top 5 international backroom transactions. While average citizens deal with cutbacks to foundational domestic programs, the executive branch has spent its initial 114 days establishing a multi-billion-dollar toll booth at the gates of American diplomacy. Schiff's breakdown proved that foreign policy isn't being guided by intelligence or national security, it's being sold off by the yard to sovereign wealth funds and corporate oligarchs looking to bypass the Constitution. The numbers start at a massive $5.5 billion luxury real estate partnership in Doha, funded directly by the state-owned Qatari Dayar Fund. Schiff exposed how these foreign checks funnel clean, private revenue straight to the family enterprise, running parallel to the infamous $2 billion Saudi injection managed by Jared Kushner. This global pay-to-play architecture turns hypercorporate with special government employee Elon Musk. Schiff entered unclassified State Department cables into the record, proving that nations like Lesotho are being actively threatened with devastating trade tariffs unless they sign lucrative monopoly contracts with Musk's private Starlink network. Add in Qatar's $400 million Sky Palace aircraft gift and a presidential meme coin operation extracting massive automated trading fees from anonymous foreign actors, and the picture is clear. When the White House functions as a financial clearinghouse for international oligarchs, the American public isn't being governed, it is being liquidated.